So welcome again everyone. In today's video I am going to discuss this life cycle we all experience in this lifeline and our exploration of consciousness. We are told it ends when we die, but does it? If you are aware of life already, you will understand how precious every moment in our life is. There is a deeper level to our existence that exists on the edge of this reality, which a lot of people find it hard to deal with because they cannot see it or touch it. We are bred to only respond to this reality through the five senses, which keep it limited in what we perceive and respond to. But what if we had other sensory perceptions that have been dumbed down through our limited education systems? Senses that could give us a stronger guidance in this world. Sometimes I feel like we have been cut off from something or we are told not to listen to it. I'm sure some of you have experienced a loved one passing and the pain left when they have gone, and you long for all the moments you could have spent with them. Although you feel this bond and connection, they are not physically there. You may even feel you can speak with them, but they are not here. It is only their imprint memories that are left. They will not exist physically as the person, but their consciousness will always be alive and exist alongside this reality. They have just shifted their frequency from this bandwidth to somewhere else. Their consciousness has moved. Now, I know there is no way to proving this in our scientific world, but this is what I've experienced in my own life. The change in that physical is our shift in our frequency. We are moving from the physical world because our soul journey cannot continue and has to find another place or another form. But I think sometimes we can be trapped in between worlds as well. I think sometimes if we have trauma at the point of death, this can keep us trapped in between. Remember, you have come at this time because you are capable of all the challenges you are presented with. As intense as it may seem, you will live a long, healthy life if you want to. Do not fear this outside world. You are built to be here. Just do the work in staying connected to yourself and all will be well. Another word for consciousness is awareness. The more you are aware, the more the truth of your consciousness is expressed, and you won't connect to the lies you get told. So in the current situation, in this life cycle, how did we get to this place? How have we gone from a beautiful, free world to a more oppressive society? Were we ever free in the first place? The West has lived in a smokescreen for the last 70 years, doused with materialism, and even though this has been clearly happening with everyone getting told everything, most people have brought into it and followed it willingly or unaware to the true dynamic to where it leads. They follow movements that they believe are real and for a good cause, but they are actually taking them away from the truth. It's a difficult time when you see friends and family members hypnotized by a narrative that is destroying our world. How people will listen to and believe a news presenter over a member of their family in this day and age is very disturbing. Or even a politician dictating to us about our health. We are in sad times, but it will get stronger and brighter eventually, so be and keep strong. Like a plant grows and searches for light, a human will always look for growth or evolution. We will always look to obtain knowledge from the highest light and seek the highest truth. So it is in our path, our nature. We may deny it along the way, but truth will always be the final outcome. People are afraid to wake up to who they are. It's a hard thing for most to accept that they are not a victim in this life. But whether you believe it or not, we are manifesting this reality. I'm giving you a shortcut there. It took me years to understand that. And I'm not saying you can think something and then it appears the next morning. And yes, of course, there is the grand picture of the world to consider. But when we have goals, we can work out a plan of how to get there. This takes a lot of work, and I know myself, and I'm still working at this all the time. That's why creating videos and filmmaking is a great process for me. as it helps me organize my creative brain. And for the people who are creative out there, you will know exactly what I mean, but it's all about your mindset and training yourself to stay focused on your goal. Like when you visit the gym, you build that muscle. Every day we do actions that contribute to building that focus. A saying I have is committed attention attracts supply. I remember when the law of attraction craze happened in early 2000s and when the film called The Secret was released. It was around 20 years ago, which is very true. The law of attraction is very real, but the film was made in a way that always kept you in a mode of wanting. It missed out the part about action, which is actually the main part. All you have to do is the action, to be honest. Yes, a little bit of thinking and logic is good, and obviously the mind has to be in the right place. Some of the richest entrepreneurs have no qualifications because they took action at a young age to build their business and who they are. And I'm not talking about the people that are born into wealth. This is a very different situation, and very fortunate when you are. It's interesting to observe how people spend thousands on healing and self-development courses, training to find out who they are or techniques to achieve their dreams. But do people actually do what they want to do? Do people actually take that information they have learned and apply it to their own life? I think the turnaround rate is about 2% of people from these places actually, and they actually follow through. So we see a cycle here, and what is making this happen? It's only people's inactions that keep them trapped in that life cycle, this belief structure. They give their power to thinking that by knowing this healing or self-development course will make them better or improve their intuition. But they have already given their power away with that belief that this course will change them, removing the empowerment from themselves, giving it to the teacher or the guru. People will attend every seminar, read every book, be very knowledgeable, knowing all the answers, but how much do you actually need to know? I have known people that have studied healing and these alternative subjects all their life, but do they take action? No. They stay in the same mindset, belief structure. This is the big trick to the New Age movement and why so many stay in a poverty consciousness or repeat the same mindset over and over again, attending seminar after seminar. It's the same with the alternative media movement. It keeps people trapped in a cycle, with mainly the broadcasters being the ones that actually benefit from it. Of course it's good to report news and truth, but when we just go round and round, we have to question. Again, how much do we need to know? I feel it's all a program that is socially engineered from the core, but as I said, if you are aware, your consciousness will be expressed and you will automatically disconnect from lies that are told to you. We have been trapped for a long time in a slave system cycle. We are now transitioning out of that at last. But a lot is going to surface in the process, as that is the way it all works. This is the world of light and dark. When we look over the official story of the history of war, our grandparents fought for our freedoms and we won apparently. But news and media were just as manipulated then as it is now, so maybe the story was different. There are countless stories and accounts to what actually happened in those trenches and concentration camps, and I will leave that for you to research, or maybe even another video. But as always, the history books were the gospel truth and anything else was classed as a conspiracy theory. It's very tiresome that people continue listening to this same old rhetoric, including the intelligent scholars of our world who know the lies behind it all. Surely they would want humanity to evolve to the best it could, and if not, do you mind going away and leaving the people alone that wish to evolve and grow humanity? I understand most of you watching this will be aware of the alternative stories to our past and how much our history has been manipulated. But if you are not, you only have to do a little bit of research into wars to see how many holes are in that official story that you were taught at school. Notice how history always contains the subconscious archetypes: the hero, the trickster, the destroyer, and more. This is lodging these archetypes into your subconscious program, so you are then wired to another story that can be controlled by something or someone else. The birth of story goes back to sitting around a campfire, sitting around the flames while the elder tells you the story. We gaze into the firelight, picturing the adventures and fears that the hero in the story undertakes. Humans are driven by story because it stimulates their subconscious archetypes, which gives us the meaning and understanding to the reality around us. So story is a vital part to our growth, and that is why we have to be very careful with media, as the media will drive stories and unwanted programs into our consciousness without us even being aware of it. But if we stay aware of these fabricated stories, we will always be connected to our consciousness and never let these programs enter our reality. When you are removed from the brainwashing of media and not hypnotized by its seduction, you can see how it drives a version of reality through these story archetypes. Day in, day out, putting your brain into fight or flight mode constantly, controlling your cycle of life, getting you to do things you are not even aware of doing. I mean, how many actually question where the word media comes from? How media developed over time? Most will just swallow what they watch because someone sits in an office looking environment with a shirt or tie on reading an auto cue. I have worked in this industry and tell my friends and family it's all scripted, and they still believe in what they watch. So what can you do? Are you going to disperse your energy on people that don't want to listen? I don't think consciousness can end, but I do believe it can become trapped through the belief systems we carry in our life. When those beliefs are not challenged, we will loop around somewhere else to another form where our soul can learn what it needs to learn. That's why the self-work is essential, unlocking your belief systems, parts of yourself, so your consciousness can expand. From early on in my life, I had a lot of near-death experiences and many times been pulled to darker energies and characters I haven't always liked in my life. I understand a lot about feeling depression and anxiety, how these feelings are hard feelings to deal with. But I find the best way to respond to this is to take action, physical action, not just visual stimulation. Exercise is good, but you need a mental focus of self-expression. Create something in the physical world that states your expression of who you are. That doesn't have to be art or creative. Could be completing a project, even working on some accounts. But take the action and keep doing it. Remember, you are not a victim. And if you feel you are focused and doing it, but still feeling depressed, frustrated, it's because you are not getting the recognition or results you feel you want or deserve. This doesn't mean you have to have a big audience, but more that your work needs to connect with people. Maybe a neighbour will see you painting a picture and you have a conversation that you've never had before. Maybe you create the big film that helps evolve the world and connects everyone together. However big or small does not matter. The fact you are doing creates the shift and expands you on your life cycle. So when you next look at the Milky Way, always remember it has over 100 billion stars in that galaxy, and there are over 200 billion galaxies within our universe. Just think about that number. Puts a lot in perspective, right? We are yet a speck in this ocean, but we have a huge effect within it. Thank you very much for watching. Films are coming soon, but I'm enjoying making these videos for now. I will always intend to make uplifting and awakening content, so please subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video.